Hey, what's going on? It's Tysophon, and I'm coming at you guys with another video. I know all of you Sonic fans out there are just as excited as I am to hear that we're getting a new entry into the Sonic Racing series with the game that was just announced called Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. From the looks of it, the game seems to hit it out of the park as far as characters go and options of vehicles you could choose from. I also love that they brought back extreme gear from the Sonic Riders series, which gives me hope that Sega would take a risk and make another Sonic Riders game after a decade and a half. It was also cool to see older characters we haven't seen in ages return, such as the Babylon trio of Jet, Storm, and Wave. Team Chaotix is back as well with Espio, Vector, and Charmy. Finally! Team Dark is back together again with Shadow, Rouge, and Omega, and Team Rose can rejoice in this game with Amy, Big, and Cream. Sega even went out of their way to add Sage from Sonic Frontiers in here. Hopefully, a lot of these characters have their original voice actors reprise their roles as these characters in this game, as that will be the icing on the cake. Sega even confirmed that out of all the Sonic Racing games, CrossWorlds will have the largest starting roster of any of the games. This is good because one of my complaints with the previous entries was its small roster and how many characters that could have made it into the game were left out, but I digress. I think it's safe to say that we'll be getting more than just Sonic characters in this game, seeing that Sega has confirmed that other Sega characters will be showing up in the future. In this video, we're going to talk about characters that I think will have a good shot at making it into CrossWorld's roster. I will be determining who these characters are based on two factors. 1. Popularity, and 2. Marketing/sales potential. Also, this list won't include Sega characters that have already appeared as playable characters in the previous games. Starting off with number 1, I have Joker from the Persona series.
Tonight, we're taking them all back.
I'm sure everyone can agree that Joker has a very high potential chance to make it into CrossWorlds, considering just how popular this character has been for almost a decade. We've seen Joker CrossWorlds already with his inclusion in games like Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, which is currently the best-selling fighting game on the Nintendo Switch. Around the year 2022, Start GG, which is a community that hosts, manages, and tracks data results from competitive events, collected 3,104,304 points of data and showed Joker was the third most played character that year in Smash Ultimate. He even managed to beat out other popular characters like Cloud Strife from Final Fantasy VII, Solid Snake from Metal Gear Solid, and even Kazuya Mishima from the Tekken series, showing you just how popular Joker is to both hardcore and casual fans of Smash Ultimate. If I remember correctly, he was also pretty top tier in that game from a competitive standpoint, which also provided agency with his popularity. Joker even made cameo appearances in games like Astro Bot, where he shows up as a bot that can be rescued by the player in a place that resembles Sainichima's palace from Persona 5. Now that I think about it, Saison's palace would be a dope track for Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, but I could see it getting cancelled out by other casino-like tracks like Casino Park or Bingo Highway. This sucks because I can't be the only one that wouldn't mind playing high-speed intense races with this song in the background. But regardless, if he does get a track specific to him, the music selection for it is going to be fire. He's got tons of outfits to choose from too, like his school uniform or his casual clothes from each season of the year. His super move could be him calling Arsene his persona to help him during the race. Everything I said pretty much ties into the marketing and sales potential that Joker would bring. Persona 5 was the game in the series that made Persona mainstream, and we probably wouldn't have gotten a Persona 3 remake and a rumored Persona 4 remake if it wasn't for its success. Here's hoping that Joker receives a calling card to join CrossWorlds. At number 2, I have Blaze Fielding from the Streets of Rage series. Some of you might be thinking, why would Sega add a character from a beat-em-up style game in a racing game? If you ask me, I say why not? If Wreck-It Ralph was able to make it into Transform, anybody's got a shot to be in it, honestly. Some of you might think that Axel Stone might be a better candidate than Blaze, but I think going with a female representative will be a lot more beneficial for the game, considering that the female count from the characters we know about so far is only 6, that being Amy, Cream, Sage, Rouge, Blaze, and Wave. Adding Blaze to the lineup would help even out the numbers as far as gender goes. Blaze Fielding is one of the most popular female Sega characters out there, especially back in the 90s. The last game she appeared in was Streets of Rage 4, where that game made a gross revenue of $18,689,696 and sold about 2.5 million copies worldwide. That's pretty good for a game that hasn't been around since the early 90s and shows just how much pull it has even nowadays, making it easier for Sega to see sales numbers skyrocket when fans see her inclusion into the Sonic Racing franchise. On top of that, this character just looks cool, man. She's an attractive chick with a dope design which changes throughout each game, giving her a variety of costumes to choose from, her latest design being my favorite one. She's a girl who can kick some serious ass with just her bare hands, which makes it even more difficult to determine what her special move might be. She's known to be able to perform a Kokosho similar to Chun-Li for all my Street Fighter people out there, and I could see that potentially being her super move in the game. There's also been mention of a new Streets of Rage game in development by Sega, and that'll be made entirely in 3D. I also believe that CrossWorlds might be on the Switch too, and we might even see a Streets of Rage 5 playable on the Switch too, therefore enticing more players to want to pick up Streets of Rage in general on the Nintendo Switch. Blaze might even show up in Streets of Rage 5 with a new design, and that could be one of her outfits for CrossWorld. Even if Blaze doesn't make it into the game, I think not adding a Streets of Rage character as a representative for the series would be a missed opportunity for Sega not to capitalize on. At number 3, we have Ichiban Kasuga from the Yakuza Like a Dragon series. Sega, please add Ichiban to Sonic Racing CrossWorlds. Ichiban is one of my favorite characters in an RPG game as of recently. This guy is upbeat, he's lighthearted, and hilarious, making him fit perfectly into the Sonic Racing universe. I can only imagine how funny his interactions with the other characters would be. I could see his stage being the Yokohama district, and as for his super move, I'm not sure what his super move would be, honestly, considering Like a Dragon has some wacky moves in the game to begin with. But I think Ichiban has a pretty good shot here. He replaced Kazuma Kiryu as the face of the Yakuza franchise and seems to be well liked amongst the Yakuza fans. He's already got 2 games out, Like a Dragon and Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, which already has a large fan base behind those games and more from the newer fans like myself after seeing the series switch to a RPG style of game. Not to mention, Like a Dragon already has a go-kart minigame, making it not so far-fetched for Ichiban to be racing alongside Sonic characters. Going off of how well liked and marketable Ichiban is, I can't see anyone not being happy with his inclusion into CrossWorlds. This one might sound a little absurd, but at number 4, I have Bayonetta.
Bad boy.
Like Joker, Bayonetta has been in not 1 but 2 Super Smash Bros. Games over the years, and she's been well known for her Touch of Death combo. Bayonetta is another Sega character that's pretty popular, but hard to imagine her being in anything that doesn't involve violence. I can't say that she'll fit into the cast like a puzzle piece, but she is a character that I feel like doesn't get a lot of respect in the gaming world. You don't see Bayonetta making guest appearances too often outside of Smash Bros, except for that one half-assed appearance she made in Shin Megami Tensei Liberation. Again, another female character to add to the diversity of the rumored starting cast of CrossWorlds. She fits right in there. She's got multiple different looks to go from, like her Bayonetta 1, 2, and 3 outfits. From a marketing standpoint, I believe Bayonetta Bayonetta has enough pull to bring players' interest into the game, Nintendo does consider her latest title, Bayonetta 3, to be a success after selling over 1 million copies and winning Best Action Game in 2022. Platinum Games also confirmed that a Bayonetta 4 is in the pipeline and will most likely release on the Nintendo Switch 2, further helping sell older Bayonetta games and bringing attention to Bayonetta 4 in the process. I know this isn't a Sega character, but last on the list I have Mario from Mario Kart. I mean, the game is called Sonic Racing CrossWorlds, for goodness sake. Nintendo, just do it. Allow Mario to enter the Sonic Racing series like you intended it for Sonic Sega All-Stars Racing back in the day. Even with Mario Kart 9 on the rise, they can at least make Mario a Nintendo Switch exclusive character for players. It's something that I can't see going wrong from a sales point of view, as anything with Mario in it usually shines and does very well, mainly because Mario is so damn popular.
There's probably not a single person who doesn't know Mario.
Plus, the name CrossWorlds justifies Mario being able to be in the game, and it makes sense. The title alone would eliminate any confusion about the branding between the two. I can see this being an issue for Mario Kart 9 because some kids seeing Sonic in a Mario Kart game could potentially mistake it for a Sonic game or a Mario and Sonic at the blah 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 type of game. But that could be fixed with a subheading for Mario Kart 9, which might not happen. We haven't seen a subheading for a mainline Mario Kart game since Mario Kart Double Dash. I think we're overdue for Sonic and Mario to cross worlds in a racing game, and fans of both have been dying to see history be made like this. Just cross worlds like how Sonic and Shadow cross each other, but add Mario in there and we'll be straight. That's all I've got for 5 characters I believe have the most potential to make it into Sonic Racing Cross Worlds. I'm curious to know your wish list of characters you would like to see in Cross Worlds in the comments down below. I pray all of you get accepted into the beta later this month, and if I manage to get invited to test the beta, I will be back here to give my impressions on it. If you liked the video, hit the like button. If you want to keep up with more of my videos, hit the subscribe button. This has been Tyson, and I'm out, people. Later.